was asked in 2019, whereas 3 questions are asked in 2018. From the biology and health, in 2019, 3 questions are asked, and in 2018, only 1 question was asked. But when it comes to biotechnology, in 2019, 2 questions, in 2018, 3 questions, and even in 2020, about 3 questions were asked. So in that way, every year questions are coming from these areas. So these are the important areas which we will have to focus and we cannot ignore them. Okay, right. Now you might have understood the important areas and where we have to focus more on. Okay, so now we'll just start with the current affairs from September. Okay, so now you have understood. So till now, anyone has any doubts? If you have any queries, you can just let me know. If you have any doubts and all, you can just let me know. Okay. So I think everyone is clear with it. Okay. Now we will start with the science and technology from September. So before going into the September current affairs, recently there was a news. Recently there was a news about the killing of an Iranian nuclear scientist. So this news you can actually look from two areas, from international relations perspective, even from the science and technology perspective. Because as I told already, yeah, there's a question. Question from science and technology are related to this current affairs related. Yes, yes, Priyanka. The questions from current affairs mostly these days are coming from science and technology, because science and, as I told already, science and technology, you know, this is an evolving area. Things keep on changing every day. So the questions in UPSC, the questions are directly coming from the current affairs, or if there is any news with regarding to any technology which has already come in the past few years, so questions are coming from that. That means last 3 to 4 years current affairs is something which the UPSC is focusing on. Because, for example, I'll just tell you an example. LiDAR is a technology which was there in the news almost 2 3 years back. It was there in the news, but question on this LiDAR technology came in the exam in 2020, right? So that's how questions are coming in UPSC. Okay, so not only this year current affairs, the last 1 2 year current affairs are coming. So while I'm covering the current affairs, what I will be doing is I will cover all the important areas surrounding that topic in the current affairs also. So in that way, in the last 1 year current affairs, you will even cover the previous current affairs also, because I will bring in those developments. I will inform you all those developments which has happened in that area while covering the current affairs. And also in the static areas, I will include those previous current affairs, the last 2 years current affairs, I will include in the static areas also. So don't worry about that, right? Yeah. So coming to this news, there's the death of an Iran nuclear scientist. This news you can look from two areas. One is from the international relations perspective, and the second one is the science and technology perspective. You can look it from these two areas. So, this nuclear technology, as I told already, this is such an important area. The whole geopolitics change if a country acquires nuclear technology. The whole geopolitics change. That is the reason Iran acquiring nuclear technology is worrying the countries in that region like Israel. That is the reason. That is one of the reason why the West and also the European Union, they have tried to, form a agreement. They have tried for an agreement with Iran, which is called the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. P5 plus 1 countries along with the European Union, they have tried to form an agreement so that Iran will stop continuing their experiments in the nuclear technology, and they will stop developing their nuclear capability. So now what is this all about? We will just see briefly. So recently, this person, Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, so he is considered as the father of Iran nuclear, so father of the nuclear program of Iran. Okay, this Mohsen Fakhrizadeh, he was recently killed. He was killed by a remote controlled weapon. Iran alleges that it was Mossad So Mossad is the, who is Mossad? The Mossad is the intelligence agency of Israel. So Iran claims that it is this Mossad who has killed the, who has killed this nuclear scientist. So now why Israel was involved in this and why he was killed? Because as we know, Iran recently, or you can say in the past few years, they have tried developing their nuclear capabilities. So when Iran tried developing nuclear capabilities, there was an attack on Iran. There was a cyber attack initially called Stuxnet attack. After the cyber attack, the West, as I told already, the European Union and US, they have tried to form an agreement, frame an agreement where the sanctions on Iran was removed, and Iran was asked to stop their militarization of nuclear weapons. That means this they have asked Iran to stop the developments in the nuclear area. Iran can Iran can actually develop the nuclear technology for civil purpose, but not for the military purpose. So that was the whole agreement. But after Donald Trump has come into power, he has scrapped that joint comprehensive plan of action, and the Donald Trump has scrapped that. But recently, Joe Biden has said that he will renegotiate with Iran, and he will renegotiate, and they will form a new agreement will be signed. Is what the U.S. President-elect Joe Biden has said. But recently, there was a news also that there will be change in this joint comprehensive plan of action. As I told, joint comprehensive plan of action is an agreement between P5 plus 1 countries. So P5 are the permanent 5 countries of United Nations. So all of these things in detail you will see in the international affairs, in international relations. I'm telling you briefly to understand about the fissile materials production. Okay, because this is what will come in the science and technology. As I told, science and technology is something which you cannot completely dissociate with, complete dissociate and keep it aside. Science and technology is always closely related with the developments that are happening around the world. It is closely associated with the geopolitics. It is closely associated with the diplomacy. So that's why science and technology is very important. Okay. So as I told, the joint comprehensive plan of action is signed by P5 plus 1, that is the 5 permanent countries of the United Nations plus Germany. Who are the 5 permanent countries? US, UK, okay, US, UK, France, Russia, and China. So P5 plus 1 along with the European Union. They have signed this agreement. Now, after Donald Trump came, he said that this agreement, under this agreement, we have given Iran too much leeway, and Iran is also not following this agreement. So I am canceling this agreement, is what Donald Trump said. Now, the new election, recently there was elections. Donald Trump lost, and Joe Biden has won the election. Now, what Joe Biden says is that he will renegotiate with Iran, and he will also delay the production of the fissile material. He will ask Iran to further delay the production of fissile material. Because once Iran gets this nuclear capability, the whole geopolitics in the Middle East changes. That is the reason this scientist was killed. Because the whole geopolitics will change. Currently, Israel is one of the strongest countries in the Middle East. But if Iran gets this nuclear capability, Iran will become the strongest. And Iran will threaten other countries. Because as you know already, the Middle East is very volatile. There are a lot of wars that are going on. All of these things you will understand in depth in the international affairs. But understand here. So Joe Biden now, in the coming months, he will renegotiate after he takes in charge. Sorry, after he takes charge as the president, he will renegotiate with Iran with regarding to this agreement, with regarding to this nuclear agreement. So in that one term which you will find in the news, it is delaying the production of fissile material. Now, what is this fissile material all about? Okay, so last week when we have covered this nuclear technology, we have seen clearly about fissile materials. Now we'll just explain briefly once again. The fissile materials, they are also called fissionable materials. In nuclear physics, fissile materials are nothing but the fissionable materials. So what are fissionable materials? The fissionable materials are those materials which can undergo fission reaction. Fission reaction. There are two kinds of reactions. One is fission and the other one is fusion. Fission and fusion. These are the two types of reactions that we have in a nuclear reactor. These are two types of nuclear reactions. So fission reaction is where a heavier atom will split into two smaller atoms. Heavier atoms splitting into two smaller atoms is called nuclear fission. Nuclear fission is that a two smaller atoms, they will combine to form a heavier atom. This is called nuclear fusion. Fusion is combination. Fission is splitting. So as the name suggests, it is such kind of reaction. So fissionable material is that material which can undergo fission reaction, okay. The principal fission materials generally are uranium 235, plutonium 239, and uranium 233. So these are the principal fission materials. But as I told already, uranium 234 is found very less in the nature. It is about 0.7% in the ore. Okay, and yeah, and the ore generally consists of uranium 238. Excuse me, and the ore consists of generally uranium 238. Okay, this uranium 238, it will get converted into plutonium 239, which will undergo reaction. Okay, so uranium 235 is basically the fissile material or the material which is used in the fission reaction in the boiling water reactor. Boiling water reactor. We have seen what is boiling water reactor. India has a three-stage nuclear program, and we have seen that already. What is boiling water reactor and all. If you have any doubts, just go to that lecture in the where we have covered all the nuclear technologies. The what is boiling water reactor, what is fast breeder reactor. We have seen all of that, right? If you have any doubt, you can just go and briefly look at it. So these are the fission materials. As I told, the uranium 235 is generally used in the boiling water reactor. The plutonium 239 is used in the fast breeder reactor, FBRs, fast breeder reactor. Plutonium 239 is used, and uranium 233, which is produced from thorium, is actually used, is used in the thorium reactors. Okay. So plutonium and uranium 233, these are basically artificially produced. It is not, they are not naturally found. A naturally found ore of uranium consists of uranium 238 plus uranium 235 plus some small minor quantities of uranium 236 and all also, but 234 also. Yeah. So this is the generally found ore. So this ore, which is found naturally, it consists of uranium 238, which is approximately 99%. Uranium 235 is 0.7%, and this uranium 234 is 0.2 to 0.3% only. Okay. So this is how an ore will be there, and this is the composition of that ore. So from the ore, uranium 235 is something which we can directly use. Excuse me. Yeah. So from this ore, uranium 235 is something which we can use directly. Uranium 235 is something which we can use directly in the boiling water reactor. We have seen that all the three stages, what is boiling water reactor, what is fast breeder reactor, and what is the thorium reactor. We have seen that in the lecture on nuclear technology. But so here the important thing for us to understand is the fissile material. A question can be asked directly about the fissile material in exam. In any exam, question can be there. So which of the following is a fissile material? They can give uranium 235, uranium 233, uranium 236, or uranium 238. They can give like that. But these are the basic fissile materials. Fissile materials are those materials which can undergo fission reaction. Okay. Yeah. So as I told already, so this is the generally found ore, which consists of about 99% of uranium 238, 0.7% of uranium 235, and the other 0.2 to 0.3% of uranium 234. So the uranium 234, 235, yeah, uranium 235 is directly used in the boiling water reactor. Okay, uranium 235 is used in the boiling water reactor. But when it comes to other isotopes, uranium 238, this is converted into plutonium 239, and then this plutonium 239 is used in the fast breeder reactor. That is why, as I told, uranium 235 is fissile and plutonium 239 is fissile and not uranium 238. So the plutonium 239 is used in the fast breeder reactor. So this plutonium 239 is a fissile material. Next, thorium 232. This thorium 232 is converted into uranium 233. Okay, so that's why this, sorry, uranium 232, yeah, thorium. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So this is the these are the two reactors. The third one, thorium, is converted into uranium 232. Thorium converted into uranium 232, and this uranium 232 is used in the reactor. So this uranium 232 will become a fissile material. Okay. So the fissile materials are uranium 232, plutonium 239, and uranium 235. These three are the fissile materials. And only uranium 235 is the naturally occurring fissile material. Okay, I think now you have understood what is a fissile material. If you have any doubts, just let me know what is a fissile material. Hope you have understood it. If you have any doubts, you can just let me know. Okay. We have covered all of this in detail in our lecture on nuclear technology. So if you have any doubts, you can just go and watch there. Okay, what exactly is the three reactors? What is the three-stage reactor and all? Okay. So now, starting with the current affairs, first in September there was a news about coal gasification and coal bed methane. Coal gasification and coal bed methane. So there was a news where India. So there was a news from the coal ministry that India aims for 100 million tons of coal gasification by 2030. Okay. Now the important thing for us to understand here is what is coal gasification and what is coal bed methane. So before that, we'll just see what this news is all about. The government of India's big plan to push coal gasification to replace the natural gas in the fertilizer sector, which would help to secure the energy as well as food security. Okay, because the production of urea involves natural gas. The production of urea and all, they need natural gas. So what India is planning is, because we don't have the reserves of the natural gas, but India have this coal reserves. So if we can use this coal in the production of urea and all, then we can reduce the import of the natural gas because we are using the domestically sourced coal. So if we can use this coal in any way and reduce the import of the natural gas, then then we can increase our food security and also the fuel security because we are reducing the imports. We are not dependent on any other country. Okay. So for that, we are talking about this coal gasification because it is, and also there is another important thing. The ammonia or urea, which is produced from the coal gasification, generally has a carbon footprint of 1.8 times higher than the ones produced from the natural gas. So now here three important things which we will have to look at. One is coal gasification, second one coal bed methane, and the third one is the carbon footprint. So we will see all of that. First, carbon footprint. So here as it says, ammonia produced from the coal gasification has a carbon footprint of 1.8 times higher than the one produced from the conventional natural gas. So the production of ammonia involves natural gas. Okay, this natural gas is something which we don't have in our country. We import it. So that means we are dependent on other countries for this. Now, our aim is to replace this natural gas, with the coal gas, Okay. So if we are able to do that, then we will reduce the import. Okay. We can reduce the import and we can be self-sufficient, self-dependent. But there is this concern that it is higher. This ammonia which is produced from this coal gas, has carbon footprint which is 1.8 times higher than the conventional one. So now what is this carbon footprint? The carbon footprint is the amount of greenhouse gases, which is primarily carbon dioxide, released into the atmosphere by a particular human activity. So carbon footprint is nothing but the amount of greenhouse gas, which is nothing but carbon dioxide primarily. So the amount of carbon dioxide which is released into the atmosphere by a particular human activity is nothing but carbon footprint. The footprint which human is creating on the environment is nothing but carbon footprint. A carbon footprint can be broad measure or be applied to the actions of an individual, a family, an event, an organization, or an entire nation. That means when we are talking about carbon footprint, we talk about an individual carbon footprint. When we talk about carbon footprint, we talk about a community carbon footprint, or also we can talk about the carbon footprint by a whole nation. That means the amount of greenhouse gas, the amount of carbon dioxide which is released into the atmosphere by a particular activity of whole nation is nothing but the carbon footprint of that nation. Okay, the amount of carbon dioxide which is released into the atmosphere by a particular human activity is nothing but the carbon footprint of that person. For example, a person A is using a motorcycle. Okay, and this motorcycle consumes petrol and it releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Okay, so that particular activity of that person A, that is driving that motorcycle, let's say he is releasing about 10 grams of carbon dioxide. This 10 grams of carbon dioxide is nothing but this 10 grams of carbon dioxide is nothing but it is the carbon footprint of that person. Just give me a moment. Yeah, so it is nothing but it is the carbon footprint of that person. Okay, understood? Now we will see what is coal gasification. Coal gasification is the process of converting coal into synthetic gas, which is also called a syngas, which is a mixture of hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide. Okay, you can see this. So coal gasification is nothing but it is conversion of coal into synthetic gas. Conversion of coal into synthetic gas is nothing but coal gasification. So we have a lot of coal reserves. If we are able to convert this coal into a gas, which is called a synthetic gas, syngas, okay, then that is called as coal gasification. So gasification of coal, converting coal into gas is nothing but coal gasification. So here you can see with the help of oxygen and water, the coal is converted into a gas under some extreme conditions like pressure and temperature. The coal is converted, and that is called the coal gasification. And the coal is converted into a gas called syngas, synthetic gas. What is the syngas? It is a gas which is combination of hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide. Hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide. Okay, so that is called a syngas. Now, what is the use of the syngas? Where we can use this syngas, which is produced from the coal, can be used in variety of applications such as production of electricity, making chemicals like fertilizers, that is urea, ammonia, etc. So this coal gasification has a lot of potential. The coal gasification can be used for a lot of, it can be used in a lot of areas. So as coal, which is there abundantly in India, and also the coal which is there in India is a low grade coal. So this low grade coal is generally not much, used for other purposes like that of in the power plants and all. They're not much preferred. So this coal, which is a low grade one, which is there in our country itself, and it is also not preferred by the power plants and all. It is a no, it is a waste, you can say. If we are able to put that waste coal into use, for like for example, as I told, if we can excuse me, if we can use that coal which is there as waste and convert it into a gas which we can use it for our uses like production of electricity and chemical products, then that means we are able to use our coal very efficiently. The efficiency of utilization of the coal increases. Okay. So this is the main advantage of this coal gasification. So that means, so that is the reason it is said that this coal gasification holds a good potential in the future. So in future, if we can develop much more efficient technologies and all, this coal gasification, it will be very helpful for us. So now why we are opting this coal gasification is urea is currently produced using natural gas, as I told already, which comprises of both the domestic natural gas and the imported LNG, the liquefied natural gas. LNG is nothing but liquefied natural gas, which we import. Okay. So as we are depending on the imports, as we don't have the locally available natural gas, we are depending on the imports. And the reduction of these imports is very much important for us to be very self-sufficient. So, इसलिए we are doing is we are using this LNG. Sorry, we are using this coal gasification technology. So the usage of locally available coal for making of fertilizers would help to reduce the import of LNG. The ministry also said that India currently imports about 50 to 70 lakh tons of urea every year. So as the availability of natural gas is limited to us, what we are doing only limited production of urea. Limited production of urea. And also this limited production of urea includes the import of natural gas. And we are also importing urea from other countries. Urea from other countries. So we are importing urea and also we are importing the natural gas. So that means our dependence on other countries is very much high for the urea. So that is the reason we are now opting for this coal gasification, where because of the with the help of this coal gas, which is nothing but the synthetic gas, if we can use that for the production of this urea, then we can also increase our domestic manufacturing, because now synthetic gas is available for us. We can increase the domestic manufacturing, and also we can put this urea into use. Okay, we can also reduce the import of this natural gas. Okay, so now what is the synthetic gas comprised of? The synthetic gas comprised of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and hydrogen. Remember this. Syngas comprised of, this can be a potential question. Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen. A question can be directly asked from this with regard to syngas. Okay. Next, after this, we will see about coal bed methane. So anyone has any doubt till now, you can just let me know if you have any doubt. If you have any doubt, you can just let me know. So now we will see about coal bed methane. What is coal bed methane? So India has the 5th largest coal reserves in the world, and coal bed methane has been looked as a cleaner alternative fuel with significant prospects. Now, what is coal bed methane we're talking about? We will see that. So coal bed methane is nothing but extracting of methane from the coal reserves. You might have heard about shale gas. Shale gas. So shale gas is nothing but extraction of, yeah. So shale gas, it is nothing but extraction of the gas from shale. So what is the shale? In rocks, in geography, you will read there are different kinds of rocks: the igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. So sedimentary rocks are those rocks which are formed because of the depositions of the fossil fuels and others over a period of time. As you know, the deposition of the dead waste and all is the main reason why we are having the fossil fuels. Because of the extreme heat and temperature and pressure conditions, the dead matter got converted into the fossil fuels what we are having today. But a lot of this dead and decayed matter, they have been trapped into this shale rocks, or you can say the sedimentary rocks. So as they have trapped into the sedimentary rocks, that means over time, the fossil fuel which are, or you can say the conversion of this dead and decayed matter into the fossil fuels is trapped in this sedimentary rocks. It is being trapped over there. So as it is trapped, with the help of technologies, now we are extracting the trapped fossil fuels in the rocks. We are extracting, and this is nothing but the shale. Okay. So shale gas is nothing but the gas which we are getting from the shale rocks. The shale rocks are those sedimentary rocks which have the trapped fossil fuels. Okay. So this is about shale gas. So the coal bed methane is similar to that of shale gas. It's similar to that of shale gas. But the difference is the difference is that the gas in shale gas, or you can see in shale, we have other reserves like petroleum and others also, along with the natural gas. But in coal bed, mostly we have methane. Mostly only methane is available. Okay. So coal bed methane, like shale, is extracted from what we are known as unconventional gas reserves. They are not conventional, they are the unconventional gas reserves, where gas is extracted directly from the rocks. That is the source of the gas, shale in case of shale gas, and coal in case of coal bed methane. Okay, as I told already, shale gas is nothing but the extraction of gas from the shale rocks. What are shale rocks? Shale rocks are those sedimentary rocks which have the trapped fossil fuels. Trapped fossil fuels. In the geography, you will clearly understand what are sedimentary rocks. Then you will get a clear picture about the formation of the shale gas and shale rocks. In geography, you will do that. So, someone saying they can't hear me. Can anyone confirm about my audio and video? Can you please check the internet on your side? I'm checking because okay, things appear to be fine on my side. Okay, so if anyone has any problem with audio and all, just check your connectivity once, because if there is a problem with regard to connectivity on your side, then also this issue might arise. So just check the connectivity on your side. Okay. So coming back to the coal bed methane, so this coal bed methane is similar to that of shale. So as I told, in geography, you'll understand clearly about the shale gas and shale rocks. If you understand the formation of sedimentary rocks, you will clearly understand the formation of the shale gas also. So don't worry, you will understand there. But remember, the coal bed methane is similar to that of the shale gas, where there is gas which is trapped in the coal beds. Okay, then this gas which is trapped is extracted. So this is nothing but the coal bed methane. So the methane is held underground within the coal and is extracted by drilling into the coal seam and removing the underground water. The resulting drop in the pressure causes the methane to be released from the coal. Okay. Yeah. So here you can see in this image. So this is the coal bed, okay, which is there very much below the groundwater table. Okay. So what we are doing is we are removing water from that area. We are removing water from that area, and we are trying to extract the methane. Okay, because water is there above this coal bed. After this water is removed, the pressure over there drops, and the methane which is there in that coal bed will be released. That is the technology basically we are using. So this much is enough for you. Okay, so the important thing for us to remember here is what is coal bed methane, okay, and also where it can be used. So these are the basic things. So here, as you can see, so below this water table, you have this coal bed. Okay, so the water over here is extracted, and then the methane which comes out is being trapped, and it is taken out from these tubes. Okay, that is how it is done. Now we will see the uses of this coal bed methane. The coal bed methane can be used for power generation as compressed natural gas, auto fuel, feedstock for fertilizers, industries in cement production, rolling mills, steel plant, and methanol production. Because methane, CH4, methane is something which can be used as natural gas. It is mainly used in the as the natural gas methane. Okay, methane is generally used as natural gas. So the CNG, which is comprised of mostly methane, if we are able to generate our own methane, then we are not dependent on other countries for the fuel. So that is the main advantage. So also the methane which can be trapped, which can be, if it can be extracted, it can be used for a lot of other uses also, like that of fertilizers, industries, cement production, rolling mills, etc., etc. Okay. Also, as I told already, India has vast coal reserves. India has about India is the fifth largest. India is the fifth largest in terms of coal reserves. So if we can use this coal reserves wisely, then we will be able to develop much faster, you can say, because the development of any country actually is dependent on its ability to use the energy in a certain way. This you will understand clearly in your economy, but just understand that the development of country needs energy reserves also. So reserves in India, if we see about the coal bed methane, the country's coal and coal bed methane reserves are found in 12 states, with the Gondwana sediments of eastern India holding the bulk. So in the eastern India, for example, the Jharkhand region, the Odisha region, and the central part, the Chhattisgarh region. So this is the region where we find most of the coal, and they have these sediments, and that is the that all and in all those regions we can find this coal bed methane. The Damodar Coal Valley and Son Valley are the prospective area of coal bed methane. Okay, with the coal bed methane project existing in Raniganj coalfield, the Parbatpur field, and the Jaria coalfield in the east and west Bokaro coalfields. So in all the Odisha and Jharkhand, we are trying this coal bed methane projects and all. Once they become success, then we will be able to be self-sufficient in terms of the gas and others. Okay, so this is about the coal bed methane. But there is also negative for this. There is also negative for this coal bed methane, because see here, as I told here, they are going below the groundwater level. They are going below the groundwater level, and they will be using various chemicals and others in order to extract the methane. So in a certain way, we are polluting the groundwater. In a certain way, we are polluting the groundwater. So this is a clear negative. This negative is also applicable to the shale gas and others, the shale rocks and others. Okay, so that is this about the coal bed methane. So anyone has any doubt with regard to anything about the coal bed methane or the coal gasification? If anyone has any doubt, just let me know. I'll give you 10 seconds. If anyone has any doubt, you can just let me know. Okay. Now next news. Now going on to next news. So recently, Indian astronomers, they have discovered one of the farthest star galaxies in the universe. This was in news. Okay. So with this current affair, I'll also tell you how you will have to look at the news, which look at the current affairs which will come in the news. So in news, generally we will find this headlines: Indian astronomers discover one of the farthest galaxies. Now I will tell you how we will have to look at from the examination perspective that current affair. Okay, so the news is India's first multi-wavelength space observatory, ASTROSAT, has detected extreme UV rays from a galaxy called AUDF S01, which is located 9.3 billion light years away from the Earth. India's ASTROSAT was able to achieve this unique feat because of the background noise in the UV-80 detector is much less than that one of the Hubble telescope of United States, which is NASA's. Okay, so this is how it is. It you will be getting in the news. So for us, the important thing is to know is about the ASTROSAT. We will have to know what is ASTROSAT, and the other thing is we will have to know about the Hubble Space Telescope. Okay, because these are the important things for us with respect to exam. Now, what is ASTROSAT? We will see ASTROSAT. So ASTROSAT, it is the first dedicated Indian astronomy mission. First dedicated Indian astronomy mission, which is aimed at studying the celestial sources in X-ray, optical, and UV spectral bands simultaneously. So in brief, ASTROSAT is nothing but the satellite which India uses for its astronomical missions. India, the ASTROSAT satellite is that satellite which India uses to do research when it comes to astronomy. Okay, that is nothing but ASTROSAT. So this ASTROSAT will detect various waves that are there in the space, either X-ray, optic, or UV spectral bands. It will simultaneously, it can detect all these waves. That is the main advantage. It can simultaneously detect X-ray, optic, and UV. But this is not there in the Hubble telescope. Hubble telescope is another telescope of NASA. We have seen this already. What is ASTROSAT? What is Hubble telescope and all? We have seen all of these things in the lecture on space technology. Okay. So basically, these astronomical missions, they are mainly to understand the universe. Because when a planet is formed, or when a collision with the black hole happens, lot of waves are being released into the universe. Currently, we don't have the technology to read those, or sometimes we are not able to detect those things also. So that is the reason, in order to study all of these things, we are launching these astronomical missions. These astronomical missions will help us to understand the formation of universe and about a lot of information about the universe, because even now we don't know a lot of things about the universe and all. Okay. So one of the unique feature of AstroSat mission is that it enables simultaneous multi-wavelength observations. This is the unique thing which is not there in the other telescopes across the world. It helps us to understand or you can say it helps us to simultaneously observe the multi-wavelengths. So all the wavelengths, the multi-wavelengths, they can be observed simultaneously, because as you know, in an electromagnetic radiation, different waves simultaneously passes, different waves simultaneously travels in an electromagnetic radiation, which have these waves have different wavelengths. So when they simultaneously travel with different wavelengths, if a device can observe all of them, then it can form correlation between them, right? So in that way, this AstroSat mission is a very powerful mission of India. So this is about this AstroSat mission. So India launched this AstroSat mission in 2015 into a, you can say, low Earth orbit. It's just above the low Earth orbit, which is about 650 kilometers. There are three kinds of orbits: the low Earth orbit, the medium Earth orbit, and the high Earth orbit, which is nothing but the geostationary orbit. Geostationary orbit. Can anyone tell what is a low Earth orbit? What is the distance from the Earth it should be for it to be called as low Earth orbit? Can anyone tell? Come on. Yes. The low Earth orbit is that orbit which is there up to, no, it is around, it is somewhere between 350 kilometers to, it is considered from 350 kilometers to around 1100 kilometers or 1000 kilometers. Okay, this is called the low Earth orbit. 350 to about 1000 kilometers. Greater than 1000 to about 3000, it is called medium Earth orbit. Yes. From 1000 to 3000, approximately, it is called medium Earth. Beyond that, it is called high Earth. But mostly beyond medium Earth, they are sent into the geostationary satellite orbits. The geostationary orbit is about 36,000 kilometers from the Earth's surface. 36,000 kilometers is geostationary. The low Earth orbit is that orbit somewhere between 350 to 1000 kilometers. From 1000 to 3000, approximately, it is called medium Earth orbit. Okay. So you can see this AstroSat mission is being sent into the low Earth orbit by PSLV C-30. The PSLV is the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. Okay, the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. So using the PSLV, we have sent this AstroSat mission into the space from Satish Dhawan Space Center at Sriharikota. And this AstroSat is expected to have a life of 5 years. Life of 5 years, right? So this is about the, yeah, about this AstroSat mission. Also, what is the scientific objectives of this AstroSat mission? We will see. The main objectives. So this you can use it for even for the other telescopic missions, astronomical missions, the same thing which you can use. What are the main objectives? To understand high energy process in binary star systems containing neutron stars and black holes. Estimate magnetic fields of neutron stars, study star birth regions and high energy process in the star systems living beyond our galaxy, detect new briefly X-ray sources in the sky, perform a limited deep field survey of the universe in the UV region. So basically, as I told, when two stars combine, then a lot of energy will be released. So it will help us to detect those waves, okay, that energy in fact, and also estimate the magnetic fields. There are a lot of fields, magnetic fields that are there in the universe, वो भी detect कर सकते हैं. And also, another important thing, this will help us to detect the X-rays. So X-rays are generally being released by those extraterrestrial objects. And this AstroSat mission will help us to detect even those X-rays. It will perform a limited deep field survey of the universe in the UV region. So limited deep field survey का मतलब ये है, तो it will help us to survey, it will help us to detect other planets and objects which are releasing this UV rays. That is called deep field survey. वो survey करने के लिए, just in brief words. Okay, so these are the broad objectives. Next, the next news is about the asteroid. So recently, an asteroid twice as big as Giza Pyramid, it was about to cross in September. It has crossed, actually, it has crossed the Earth's orbit. Okay, so what is this asteroid all about? What does asteroid mean? We'll see that. So NASA, it has been tracking this asteroid, which is twice as size of, which is twice as big as the Pyramid of Giza, and it has crossed the Earth's orbit on September 6th. It has crossed the Earth's orbit on September 6th. That's why this was in news. It is classified as a near-Earth object and is potentially a hazardous asteroid. Potentially a hazardous asteroid. Now we have to understand what does the asteroid means. What does the asteroid means? We'll see that. So what is near Earth orbit? So NASA defines near Earth orbits as comets and asteroids, which are nudged by gravitational attraction of nearby planets into the orbits that allow them to enter into the Earth's neighborhood. Okay, so that means near Earth objects are nothing but the objects which enter near to that of the Earth, which come near to that of the Earth. So around the Earth, we have planets like uh, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. So these are the surrounding planets approximately. So because of the gravitational pull of these planets which are surrounding Earth, when the other objects like the asteroids or meteors, when they come close, they are known as near Earth orbits. The objects which come close to the Earth, because of the gravitational field that is existing in the space because of other big planets, they are known as near Earth orbits. And who defines the near Earth orbits? It is NASA who defines it. Okay. Now, what is an asteroid? So asteroids are those rocky objects that orbit the sun, much smaller than that of planets. As per NASA, there are approximately 1 million known asteroids, the remnants from the formation of solar system, which was formed 4.6 billion years ago. Most such objects can be found in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Okay. Now we will just see what is this. So asteroids basically they are the rocky objects that are orbiting the sun. Rocky objects that are orbiting the sun are nothing but asteroids. These asteroids, it is said that back when solar system is being formed, planets are formed. Okay, when solar system is formed, the planets are formed. After the planets are formed, there are few objects that are left in the space. There are few objects that are left in the space, and they were not able to form a planet completely, and they're trying to form a planet. The objects which are there are trying to form a planet. So when they're trying to form a planet, because of the heavier pull, because of the gravitational pull by heavier objects like that of Jupiter and Mars, these bodies did not form a planet, and they have stayed as rocky objects only. They have stayed as rocky objects only, and they are nothing but asteroids. They are nothing but asteroids, and they are generally located between Mars and Jupiter. So there might be a question about the asteroid belt. The asteroid belt is that belt which consists of various asteroids rotating around the sun, which are there between Mars and Jupiter. They are called asteroids which are there in the asteroid belt. Okay, so asteroid belt is that belt of asteroids which is there between Mars and Jupiter, which is there between Mars and Jupiter. Okay, so that is called asteroid and asteroid belt. Yeah. So asteroid belt, if you see, the explanation for the concentration of asteroids in this belt comes from the formation of Jupiter, whose gravity brought an end to the formation of any planetary bodies in this region, as a result of which small bodies keep colliding with each other, fragmenting into asteroids. Other than those found in the main asteroid belt, asteroids can also be classified into Trojans, which are asteroids that share an object with a larger planet. Okay, so this is all about it. So, can asteroid be only between Mars and Jupiter? The answer is no. Asteroids can be other places also. Asteroids are basically nothing but the objects which are rotating around the sun, which are revolving around the sun is nothing but asteroid. If any object is revolving around the sun, it is called asteroid. The asteroid belt is that belt of objects which are there in between Mars and Jupiter. Okay. So as I've already explained you about the formation of these asteroids. Anyone has any doubts, just let me know. If anyone has any doubts, you can just let me know. Just take 10 seconds. If you have any doubts, you can just let me know. Okay. So as it is clear, we will move on to the next current affair. So next there is a news about the fast tags. There is news about these fast tags. Now what are these fast tags? We will see that. Fast tags. So recently, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has notified draft notification to seek comments and suggestions from the stakeholders on making FASTags mandatory for old vehicles sold before 1st of December 2017. Further, it is proposed that FASTags will be made mandatory for getting a third-party insurance. As per the Central Motor Vehicles Rules of 1989, FASTags has been made mandatory since 2017 for registration of a four-wheeled vehicle, and it is to be supplied by the vehicle manufacturer or the dealer. It has further been mandated that the renewal of fitness certificate will be done only after the fitment of FASTag for the transport vehicles. Further that the national permit vehicles, the fitment of FASTag has been made mandated since October 1st, 2019. Now we will see what is this FASTag all about. Okay. Earlier, before the introduction of this FASTag, you might have seen people paying money in the toll gates. People paying money in the toll gates. But after the introduction of this FASTag, we are not seeing this. Why? Because there will be a FASTag attached to a vehicle, and when the vehicle will pass through that toll, then a reader will be there, or you can say, I'll explain this FASTag technology, but in simple words, when a vehicle passes through the toll gate, money will be automatically deducted from the person's account. So for a person, there is no need to wait for the toll, for the payment and the for the payment near the toll. Exactly, you can say. Okay, so this FASTag has been made mandatory from 2017 for the registration of new vehicles. Now, a proposal is being sent to make FASTag mandatory for all vehicles which are even manufactured before 2017. Okay, that is why this was in news. So the FASTag basically it looks something like this. Okay, this FASTag has some chips and all in this, and there is a technology of radio technology which it uses. We will see that, but this is how a FASTag looks like. Okay, now what is this FASTag? National Highway Authority of India has rolled out this program for electronic toll collection on toll plazas on national highways, which is called as FASTag. So, electronic collection of toll is nothing but is basically the FASTag, electronic collection of toll on highways. The FASTag is a reloadable tag which enables automatic deduction of toll charges and lets you pass through the toll plaza without stopping for the for the cash transaction. So, as I told, previously people used to stop at the toll gates in order to pay the tolls. In order to pay the tolls, but now without stopping at the toll gates, people can directly pass through the toll gates without stopping, and money will be automatically deducted from the person's account. Okay, so the FASTag is linked to prepaid account from which money will be deducted. Now you might have a doubt how it appears. How is this? How everything is happening? You might have this doubt. You will see that. So this FASTag employs a technology called radio frequency identification technology (RFID), radio frequency identification technology, which is affixed on the vehicle's windscreen after the tag account is active. So this tag will be attached to the front of the vehicles, that is to the front glass of the vehicle, it will be attached. Okay, and when the vehicle passes through this toll, there will be a reader which will read this fast tag. There will be a reader, and this reader will read this fast tag, and money will be deducted from the person's account directly. Okay, this RFID tagging is an ID system that uses small radio frequency identification devices for identification and tracking purposes. So, small radio frequency identification. So, using radio waves, all this everything is happening radio waves. So, so you can say the less frequency radio waves are being used for this. The RFID tagging is used in supply chain management as an alternative to barcode technology. So even the supply chain management, this RFID technology is being used, although more expensive, but the RFID tags don't get dirty easily or don't fall off as it requires, or don't fall off as the barcode generally requires unobstructed line of sight and all. But this RFID is a much advantageous over the barcode, because there is no need for direct line of sight or something like that. Because if you see barcodes and all, the scanning needs direct line of sight, and there are few conditions that are there. And also, if there is any scratch or if there is any discontinuity in the barcodes, if anything happens, then the barcode will be waste. It cannot be used directly. So that is why nowadays we are employing this RFID technology, the radio frequency identification technology. Okay, it will be somewhat like this. So this tag, it will be there on the windscreen. Okay, this tag will be there on the windscreen, and this tag will be, it will be read by this reader. After it is read, it will get the details, and after it get the details, the computer will deduct the money from the person's account. So this tag actually consists of some chip reader. You can say it consists of chip and antenna. This chip holds the information about physical object to which that is attached. An antenna will be there. Antenna will be there, which is mainly for the transmission of the information, which is mainly to capture and transmission of the information. And yeah, the packing encases the chip of the antenna so that the tag can be attached to the physical object. So it will be packed in such a way that the antenna and the chip, it will be attached to that object. So basically, there will be a tag. The tag consists of antenna and the chip. Okay, so it will be attached to the windscreen, and when it passes through the toll gates, there will be RFID reader, and this reader will read the details. And after it read the details, it will send that details to the computer, and the computer will automatically deduct the money from the person's account. So this is the basic technology. This is how it functions. Now I'm telling about radio frequency and all. So what are the different electromagnetic waves we have? As radio wave is also a type of electromagnetic wave. We will see that. So these are the different electromagnetic waves that we have. So this is an important thing for us. So arrangement of the electromagnetic waves based on their wavelengths and frequency. So from right to left here, the wavelength increases. Wavelength is represented by lambda, and this wavelength increases from right to left in this picture. So these are the two different kinds of pictures basically, which tells us the same thing. So from right to left, the wavelength increases. So wavelength is nothing but it is inverse of the frequency. So wavelength increases का मतलब है the frequency decreases. Frequency decreases. What is frequency? The number of cycles per second is nothing but frequency. The number of cycles per second is nothing but frequency. Okay. So here, radio waves have higher wavelength than microwaves. Microwavelengths have higher wavelength than infrared. Infrared has higher wavelength than visible. Visible has higher wavelength than UV. UV has higher wavelength than X-ray, and X-ray has higher wavelength than gamma rays. So this is the you can say from left to right the decreasing order of wavelength and increasing order of frequency. From right to left the increasing order of the wavelength and decreasing order of the frequency. Okay, so these radio waves here we have. Okay, so they can be used for various these radio waves can be used for various uh, things, like for example the TVs, the telephones, or this fast tags. So for a lot of these things the radio frequencies are being used. Okay, yeah, so you can see in this image, so this fast tag will be there to the car front like this. So this will be read directly by the reader. So when this is read by the reader, then the money will be deducted automatically, because the fast tag consists of the chip and the antenna. The chip will have the data, and the antenna will be used to transmit the data. Okay, so this is about fast tag. So now anyone has any doubt with regard to the fast tag? So before that, we will see the benefits. What are the benefits of a fast tag? So first is we have the environmental benefit. Why we have the environmental benefit? Because back then, when the vehicles used to be stopped at the toll gates, sometimes they used to be stopped for about half an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours sometimes. So when vehicle is being stopped at the toll gate for such a long time, what is going to happen? It is going to pollute more. Because if anyone have known, a vehicle which is there, whose ignition is on, it will generate more toxic gases than the vehicle which is running. Okay, and also another important thing is that because of this fast tag, we are not giving any tickets to the customers. So that means we are even reducing the usage of paper also. Okay, so that is also another environmental benefit. And also we have social benefits like the reduced toll payment hassles, also the analytics for better highway management, the centralized system which provides for authentic real-time data, and others. And also we have the economic benefit like the reduced effort in the management at the toll plaza, reduced effort in the monitoring of centrally, you can say, yeah, central monitoring can be done, the effort at the toll plazas can be reduced, the revenue leakages which happens at the toll gates can be reduced, the fuel consumption of the vehicles can be reduced. So in a lot of ways this will be very advantageous to us. Okay, so before going into this, if anyone has any doubt, you can just let me know. I'll give you 10 seconds. Any doubts, you can just let me know. If you have any doubts, you can just let me know. Okay. So next, there was a news about this hybrid sterilization. So hybrid means combination of 2 to 3 things. So hybrid sterilization is also similar to that. The hybrid sterilization, scientists have developed this. So sterilization means cleaning, you can say, in a certain way. Sterilization का मतलब है cleaning. So this word is being used these days because of this pandemic and all. So sterilization is nothing but the cleaning and all. So scientists have developed a portable sterilization unit using a new technology called hybrid sterilization system that can decontaminate the PPE equipments, which is very much necessary for the combating COVID-19. And it can be used multiple times. So now what is this hybrid sterilization? Hybrid sterilization is nothing but the sterilization which uses UV rays, plasma and H2O2. So all these three will be used. The UV radiation is already a proven method. So already we are using UV rays. A lot of countries have been using UV radiation to decontaminate or to sterilize. This hybrid sterilization was found to be more efficient than the UV ray sterilization. However, the low penetration depth of UVC and faster divergence from the source can result in non-uniform treatment. The team of scientists have developed this hybrid sterilization consisting of UV radiation cavity, cold plasma, and H2O2 spray. Okay. Now we will see what is this plasma. So as you know, UV is already used. Now what is this plasma? Plasma is nothing but the fourth state of matter. We know there are three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. Plasma is the fourth state of matter. So when heated, the ice changes into water. Okay, that means the solid is changing into liquid. On further heating, the liquid is changing into gas. On further heating, this gas will change into plasma. So this is the entire life cycle. So this plasma, UV, and H2O2 are being used simultaneously. This is nothing but this hybrid sterilization. Okay, the sterilization is nothing but the cleaning. So this is about this plasma and all. Next news is about blockchain technology. Okay, now we will see the blockchain technology. Can anyone tell one application of blockchain technology? Because this blockchain technology was in use for a lot of reasons. कोई बोल सकते हैं क्या blockchain technology का actual application where it is being used currently? Blockchain technology. It's a pretty famous technology, the blockchain one. Yes, cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency, it is that uh, electronic, you can say that electronic currency where we are using this blockchain. But the blockchain is a concept which is not limited to cryptocurrency. It's a very broad concept. Blockchain technology is a very broad concept. This technology is being used for this cryptocurrency. Okay, the blockchain technology has actually originated in 1991 itself. This technology is being brought in and is being used for the cryptocurrencies. Now, National Informatics Center, NIC, it has set up a center of excellence in blockchain technology in Bangalore, Karnataka. This will facilitate government departments in building proof of concepts for the use of blockchain technology in different dimensions of governance, leading to large-scale deployment of such applications. So NIC has recently set up this center of excellence for blockchain technology. Yeah. Okay. So it will facilitate. So this NIC, yeah, which has set up this blockchain technology, it will facilitate. It will facilitate the usage of this technology in various other government areas also. That is the reason it was launched. Now, it is important for us to understand what exactly blockchain is. If we understand what exactly blockchain technology, we will know where and all it can be used. The blockchain technology can be used in banking. The blockchain technology can be used in health services, in land records, in a lot of these things. This can be used. Okay. Now, what is this blockchain? A blockchain is a specific type of data structure which can be used to transact across the nodes and participants. The ownership rights are recorded in the cryptographically and stored in linked blocks which contain records of ownership of assets among the participants that can remain anonymous. Blockchains are open distributed ledgers that can chronologically record transactions between two or more parties in near and real time. The prerequisite for each subsequent transaction to be added to the ledger is that the respective consents of network participants, thereby creating a continuous mechanism of control regarding manipulation, errors, and data quality. We will understand all of this. So, in brief, blockchain technology is nothing but a chain of data, a chain of data which will be there with all the people, or you can say with all the stakeholders. Okay, so blockchain is a specific type of data structure which can be used to transact across the nodes or participants. So this is the blockchain is nothing but it's a chain of data among different participants. So you can see a lot of participants are being connected. Okay. So how this blockchain works? How this blockchain works? The blockchain, you can say, basically, it is nothing but the combination of blocks, the chain of blocks, and each block consists of information. Each block consists of information. What information? Each block consists of the data, that is the information of the, for example, in cryptocurrency, the information about user, information about his transaction and all, or for example, the particular details, the data. Second one is the hash. Third one is the hash of previous block. Now what is hash? Hash is a unique string. It is a string. String ka matlab hai, like for example, it will be something like this: 1 2 3 4 db, something like this. It will be a string, okay, consisting of both the alphabets and numerics. So this string is nothing but hash. This hash, actually, it will change with the transactions. This hash will change with the transactions. Okay. So as I told, the blockchain is nothing but the chain of blocks. The chain of blocks. So let's take this is a blockchain of 3 blocks. Blockchain of 3 blocks. Okay. So as I told, each block consists of the data, hash, and a previous hash. This is the first block, this is the second block, and this is the third block. These are the 3 blocks, right? The first block has the hash, but this is the first block, so previous hash will not be there and it will have data. Okay. The second block has the previous hash and hash of this. So hash is basically dependent on the transaction that is happening or the details. If there is any change in the transaction details or anything, or if there is any change in data, then the hash value will be changed automatically. Hash value will be changed automatically. So for example, in the second block, a user has tried to manipulate data. User has tried to manipulate data. But can he do it? The answer is no, because this is the original hash, and the user has tried to change the hash to this because he's trying to change some data. So this hash which he tried to change, it will validate. This needs validation. It will check with the next block, because in next block the previous hash will be there. The next block, the previous hash, that means the hash of the second block will be there. So it will verify with that. When it is verifying, there are two different things. The hashes are two different ones. That means there is something wrong here, and that change will not take place. That change will not take place. This is how it is being done. So blockchain is nothing but the chain of blocks which consist of information, about the transactions or any other thing. Okay. When there is any change, I will show you clearly here in this previous one. Yeah. So when there is any change in any node, for example, when there is any change in any node, for example, it is here, then all the nodes get affected. All the nodes get affected. What does that mean? I am a user, you are a user. So there are, let's say, 3 users are there. 3 users are there. Yeah. For example, yeah, 4 users are there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the 4 users. All the 4 users, they are the stakeholders in this blockchain. As I told, the blockchain technology is a decentralized one. That means no one is controlling, no one has a complete authority over it. So the member one has this blockchain data, member 2 has this blockchain data, member 3 and member 4 also have this blockchain data. Now let's say member 1 tried to change some data here. Member 1 tried to change some data, or member 1 tried to add some new data, new block. Then this new block has to be added to the database of all the 4 users. Of all the 4 users, this new block has to be added, right? So as all the 4 blocks has to be sorry, as the new block has to be added to all the four databases of all the 4 participants, that means it is verifying the data of all the 4 databases. So as this new block has to be added, okay, so it will go to the member 2, it will verify data here, It will go to member 3, it will verify the data here. It will go to member 4 and it will verify data here also. So that means if member 1 try to manipulate data in some second block while adding, he tried to change before only and we try to, sorry. So let's say this member 1 tried to change some data in the second block and he's again adding another new block. Now, as I told, it will be validated by all the other members. As while this new block is adding, this change will be validated by all the other members also. But here there is a discrepancy. There is something difference in the second block. This change in the second block will not be accepted because when it is validating the data, it is getting incorrect data. That means in the other databases, the data is different. In this database, the data is different. So when it compares, there is a mismatch. So when there is a mismatch, then this data will not be accepted. So the changes will not take place in this. Okay. In the same way, when new block is also added, it will verify the data and this new block will be added to all the 4 participants. Here also it will be added, here also it will be added, here also it will be added, and here also it will be added. So in brief, what I'm trying to say is blockchain is nothing but the network of blocks. Each block consists of data. Each block consists of data, and this data is a decentralized database where the data is stored with all the stakeholders. The data is stored with all the stakeholders. Any change which is happening anywhere, or if anyone is trying to change anything, then this will not be possible because when any change is happening in any block, this change will be validated by all the databases. It has to be validated by all the databases. So when it is being validated by all the databases, when there is any discrepancy, then this change will not happen. This change will not happen. When a new data is being added, when a new data is being added by any person, then this data will be added to the database of all the other users also. This data will be added to the database of all the other users also. Okay, this is the basic concept of blockchain technology. Now we will go to this write up once you will understand clearly now. So blockchain data is a specific data type of data structure which can be used to transact across the nodes or participants. Okay, so you can see, as I told, blockchain is a specific type of data structure which can be used for transaction among the different participants. The ownership of rights are recorded in cryptographically. Cryptographically means using some codes. Using some codes, it will be stored. So which is very difficult to crack. That is what cryptographically stored means. And linked to blocks which contain records of ownership of assets among the participants that remain anonymous. Okay, so even though each block will have data of everyone, or you can say a block contains data of a single person, this data will not be visible to everyone. For example, there are 3 members in the same way. Yeah. Yeah. So let's say this block 1 consists of information about person 1, block 2 consists of information of person 2, block 3 consists of information of person 3. But the second person, she will not be able to know the details of person 1 or person 3. She will be able to know the details of only her details, that is herself. Only the details which she requires, she will be able to know that. She will not know the details of other persons. So the other person's data will remain anonymous. She can only see the hashing. As I told, hashing will be a string. She can only see that. But the other details and others, she will not be able to see. She can only see her data. That is another important thing. So that is the reason anonymity is another important aspect, another important attribute of this blockchain technology. So the participants basically remain anonymous. Okay, the blockchains are open distributed ledger. Distributed ledger means it is distributed among the participants. The network is distributed among the participants, and that can be chronologically, and that can record the transactions chronologically in real time. The prerequisite for each subsequent transaction to be added to the ledger is the respective consensus of network participants, thereby creating continuous mechanism of control with regard to manipulation errors and data quality. So as I told, when a new data is added or when any data is being changed, This will be validated in the databases of all the participants. So as the validation is being done among all the participants, there is always a chance of reducing the errors. There's always a chance of reducing the errors or the manipulations, or even you can say the data quality can be maintained. The data quality can be maintained, and also as everyone will remain anonymous, as the participants will remain anonymous, that means the the security or the privacy of all the participants also can be maintained. Okay, even from the security point of view, this is also very important. Now, if you see the characteristics, again, what are the basic characteristics? They are decentralization, yeah, decentralization, persistency, anonymity, and auditability. So these are the important things, important characteristics of this blockchain technology. Decentralization. The whole ledger is decentralized. It is there with all the people. The persistency. It means the data is very correct. The anonymity is maintained. It can be audited very well. With these traits, the blockchain can greatly save the cost and improve the efficiency. It can reduce the errors. Especially in banking, there will be a lot of errors with regarding to the data. So in such areas, this can be used very well. It has various applications like in the field of banking, capital market, cyber security, healthcare, agriculture, telecom, governance, etc. So in every field, it can be used. In every field where data is involved, this can be used. Where data is involved, this can be used. The Niti Aayog is currently exploring the use of blockchain and artificial intelligence technologies in diverse areas like education, health, agriculture, electricity distribution, and land records, among the others. Okay, so mainly if you see something like land records, which are actually manipulated very much. So in such areas, this can be used very well. Okay, so this is about blockchain and cryptocurrency. So this blockchain technology is used for cryptocurrency. Now, if you go and read about cryptocurrency, if you read about cryptocurrency, you will see all of these terms. You will see all of these terms like decentralized ledger, where all the participants will have the data will be stored with all the participants. Okay, so any change happening anywhere, it will reflect in all the databases. All of these things. If you go and read cryptocurrency anywhere, you will understand this because cryptocurrency is basically dependent on the blockchain technology itself. The only difference is that there will be this concept of mining currency in the cryptocurrency. What is mining and all? We will see that in the lecture on information technology, which we will be starting on 9th and 10th. Yeah, I have class on 9th and 10th. On that day, we will start with information technology. There I will explain clearly about cryptocurrency. Okay. So this is about blockchain. So anyone has any doubts with regard to the blockchain, you can just let me know. Any doubts? What is blockchain? Anything? If anyone has any doubts, just let me know. I'll just give you 10 seconds. Okay. So I hope it is clear for everyone. Next, there were three important bills with regard to them. With regard to them, alternate medicines, or you can say with regard to the medical field, three important bills were passed. So what are these bills? We will see briefly. The first one, the National Commission for Indian System of Medicines Act 2020. So this act was passed recently. So I'll tell you how we have to read about acts. If any new act was passed, just don't read in depth everything. Just briefly know what are the important provisions of the act, what are the important provisions, or if there is any new committee or commission with regard to that act, just know that. That is enough. There is no need for you to go into the depth of that act. Based on that act, if any scheme is launched or anything, you can read that. But basically, important thing for us, both for the prelims as well as for the mains perspective, the important thing for us to know only the brief provisions, not the complete act. First, we will know the basic definition of the act. If it is changing any already existing provision, we will know that. Or else we will know the basic provisions of what that act is bringing. That is enough for us. There is no need to go into the depth of that act. Okay. So this National Commission for Indian System of Medicine Act 2020, it seeks to repeal the Indian Medical Central Council Act of 1970 and to provide for a medical education system which ensures availability of adequate and high quality medical professionals of Indian system of medicine, adoption of latest medical research by medical professionals, periodic assessment of medical institutions, and an effective grievance redressal mechanism. Okay, so these are the important provisions. So already we have a Central Medical Council Act of 1970. So this Central Medical Medical Council Act of 1970 was repealed, and this new act replaced that old act. Okay, so this is mainly to ensure the quality in the professionals, and also here a new National Commission for Indian System of Medicine will be constituted, and the state medical councils, and this National Commission for Indian System of Medicines, it will frame policies for the regulation of medical professionals and institutions. Earlier, we used to have this Medical Council of India, and that will be replaced with this National Commission for Indian System of Medicine. MCI will be replaced with this. Okay, and all the policies and others will be framed by this new commission. Okay, so this was important thing. Another important thing is it also talks about this teacher test and all. You will see that is not much important. Important thing here is this act, which is the Medical Council Act. It replaced the earlier Indian Medicine Central Council Act of 1970. Okay, and this act talks about the availability of adequate medicines and medical professionals. It also talks about the adoption of latest medical research by the medical professionals, and also the constitution of National Medicine Commission. Okay, this is the first act. Next, second act is with regard to the Homeopathy Central Council Act. This Homeopathy Central Council Act 2020, it replaced the earlier Homeopathy Central Council Act of 1973. Okay, so this is mainly to provide the medical education system which ensures availability of adequate and high quality homeopathic medical professionals. So now what is homeopathy? You might have heard about the homeopathy medicine. So homeopathy medicine is nothing but it's an alternative medicine. This is based on the locally available ingredients and others. It is based on the homeopathy. Basically, homeopathy is a type of medicine. It's different from that of the English medicine what we use. Okay, this medicine is basically dependent on the locally available some of the medicines, locally available trees and plants, local medicines. Okay, this homeopathy is different from the English medicine what we generally use. Okay, so this Homeopathy Councils Act seeks for the constitution of National Commission for Homeopathy and state medical councils for homeopathy. So in the previously we have seen National Commission for Medicine, which is for general medicine. Here it is talking about National Commission for Homeopathy. Now, what is the function of National Commission for Homeopathy? It is same as that of the NCISM, that is National Council for Indian Medicine. But with regards to the homeopathy, that is the only difference. So there will be entrance exam for UG, PG, and licenses for the practice. So NEET will be there for commonly for everyone. It talks about that. It also talks about the National Teachers Eligibility Test, which is mainly with regard to the recruitment of the teachers. Okay, this is about the Homeopathy Central Council Act. No need to go into the depth, as I said already, because question will not come from these things directly. This can be mainly used in the mains only. The prelims question directly from the acts are very less. Even if they're asked on the basic important components only. Okay, this is about the Homeopathy Central Council Act of 2020. The next one is about the Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda Act 2020. This act seeks to merge 3 Ayurveda institutes into one institution by the name of Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda. So earlier 3 institutes were proposed separately, and these 3 institutes now will merge into a Institute of National Importance, that is Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda, ITRA. The proposed institute will be situated in the campus of Gujarat Ayurveda University, Jamnagar, and this will be an institution of national importance. So this is mainly for this institute, setting up of institute, which is Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda in Gujarat. So existing institutes which will be merged into the One are the Institute of Postgraduate Teaching and Research in Ayurveda, Jamnagar. The Sri Gulab, it is called Gulab Kunar Varba, the Sri Gulab Kunar Varba Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Jamnagar, and the Indian Institute of Ayurvedic Pharmaceutical Sciences, Jamnagar. These three institutes will be merged and will be formed as one institute called the Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda. So this bill seeks to form this institute as an institute of national importance. Now, what is institute of national importance? Various institutes are given the status of institution of national importance. So these institutions which are given this status, they will have more autonomy with regard to the funds, faculty, and they will also get support from the central government with regard to the development of the institutions. More and more money will be spent on the research, more and more money will be spent on the development of infrastructure in these universities and all. Okay, so that is about this institute of national importance. Now we will just briefly go and revisit what we have already learned till now. We'll just briefly revise everything. Okay, first, we have seen about the death of this nuclear scientist, Moshe Fakhrizadeh, who is considered as father of Iran nuclear scientist. Okay, here we have seen about the fissile materials. Fissile materials are those materials which are used in the fission reaction. The materials which can be used in a fission reaction are nothing but fissile materials. Uranium 235, plutonium 239, and uranium 233 are the fissile materials which are generally there. Okay. So we have seen this, the naturally occurring uranium consists of the ores and all. We have seen this, and yeah. So this is generally uh, a fission reaction which consists of uranium 235 and 238, an ore which consists of this. This will be this sorry, this fission reaction, as I told, where the element, the material, will be split into various other things. So in the boiling water reactor, this is the fission reaction that takes place. Uranium 235 will be bombarded with a neutron, with a slow moving neutron, and then it will be converted into uranium 236, and this uranium 236 will be splitting into barium, krypton, and three fast moving neutrons. You have seen this already in the boiling water reactor. I'm just revising that. So fission reaction is that reaction where heavier atom will split into small atoms. Okay, that is about the fission reaction. Next, we have seen about coal gasification and coal bed methane. India aims for 100 million tons of coal gasification by 2030. Now, what is this coal gasification? Coal gasification, briefly, it is nothing but the conversion of coal into a synthetic gas, which is called syngas. And the syngas is a mixture of hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide. Okay, and this syngas can be used for a lot of applications. For example, the production of electricity, the production of chemical products, the production of fertilizers and all. Because currently, for the manufacturing of urea and others, we are depending on the imported natural gas, which is becoming very costly for us. Okay. Next one, we have seen about the coal gasification. Sorry, coal bed methane. After coal gasification, we have seen about coal bed methane. Coal bed methane is nothing but the extraction of methane from the coal bed. Extraction of methane from the coal bed. It is considered as alternative fuel with significant prospects. Okay. Uh, so the extraction of this methane from the coal beds is nothing but coal bed methane. It is similar to that of extraction of shale. Another important thing I forgot to tell you, there is a term called fracking, which will be generally there in the news. Fracking. What is fracking? Fracking is nothing but extraction of gas and extraction of gas and crude oil from the shale rocks is nothing but fracking. That process is known as fracking. Okay. So extraction from shale is nothing but fracking. I'm writing here. Extraction from shale rocks. This process is known as fracking. Right? So this is about coal bed methane and fracking. So we have seen this about coal bed methane and all. Next, after this, we have seen about the ASTROSAT mission. So India's first multi-wavelength space observatory ASTROSAT has detected ultraviolet light from galaxy called AUDFS01, which is located 9.3 billion light years away from the Earth. Okay, we have seen that. And after this, we also seen about Astrosat mission. The Astrosat mission is the first dedicated Indian astronomical mission which is aimed at studying celestial sources in X-ray, optic, UV, and UV spectral band simultaneously. So this is the unique feature of the Astrosat mission. The Astrosat mission is launched by ISRO in 2015. It is a multi-wavelength observatory. That means it can observe waves of different wavelengths simultaneously. That is the advantage of this Astrosat astronomical observatory. So this is launched in 2015 into a low Earth orbit by PSLV C-30 from the Satish Dhawan Space Center at Sriharikota in Andhra Pradesh. Next, after this, we have seen that an asteroid which is twice as big as Giza Pyramid, it has entered into the Earth's orbit. Okay, it has crossed the Earth's orbit. So now what is an asteroid? Asteroid is that object which is revolving around the sun. Asteroid is that object which is revolving around the sun. Okay, so generally these asteroids are present between Mars and Jupiter. It is called as asteroid belt. So there are objects called the near Earth objects. These near Earth objects are those objects which are there in the space near to that of the Earth. They are present there because of the gravitational pull experienced by these objects. Gravitational pull experienced by these objects from the other planets like Earth, Mars, Jupiter, or Venus. Okay. So these near Earth objects are classified by the NASA. We have seen this. Next, we have seen about the asteroid belt, and after that, we have seen about fast tags. So fast tags are those tags, okay, they are which are mandatory for all vehicles which are manufactured after 2017 in December. Now we are considering to make them mandatory for even the vehicles which are manufactured before 2017. So fast tags are nothing but the tags which use the radio frequency identification technology, so that the toll collection in the toll gates will become easy. Toll collection near the toll gates will become easy. So these fast tags are the reloadable tags which enables automatic deduction of the toll charges from the person's bank account directly. Okay. So this is launched by the National Highway Authority of India through a electronic toll collection program. So okay, on the national highways. Now, as I told, they use the radio frequency identification technology where radio waves are being used to identify the tags, and these tags consist of chip and antenna. The chip will have the details of the customer, and the antenna will be used for the transmission of the data. You can see in this image, right? So after the lecture, I will share you the PPT. Just revise the PPT after the lecture, like before tomorrow, before the class. Just revise all these things. What I will do is we will have a small test of few questions before the class tomorrow. Okay. So this is about fast tag. And also this is about the different wavelengths. This is about the, you can see here that the classification of electromagnetic waves based on the wavelength. This is about this, right? So just go through this. This one is actually the classification of the electromagnetic waves based on the wavelength is important because in civil services questions are not coming, but in the other UPSC exams questions are coming from this, like which has highest wavelength, which has least wavelength, which has highest frequency, which has least frequency, like that questions are coming. So just keep an eye on this. In the order of increasing wavelength, I'll just write briefly here. In the order of increasing wavelength, gamma, X-ray. Remember, gamma has the highest frequency, that is the least wavelength. After that, X-ray. So increasing wavelength, order of increasing wavelength, gamma, X-ray, UV, visible, infra, micro, and radio. The radio waves have the highest wavelength. That means it can travel farther. That is the reason we are using these radio waves of less frequency in the RFID tags. Okay. Right. So this is about this. After that, we have seen this fast tag. After that fast tag, we have seen about the benefits of fast tag, and then we have seen this hybrid sterilization. Hybrid sterilization is sterilization using UV, plasma, and H2O2. Okay, we have seen this hybrid sterilization where it is being used to sterilize the PPE, personal protective equipments necessary for combating COVID-19. Okay, we have seen this. After that, we have seen about the blockchain technology. So National Informatics Center has set up a center for excellence in blockchain technology in Bangalore, Karnataka. Right? We have seen this. After that, briefly, we have seen about blockchain. What is blockchain? So blockchain is that specific type of data structure which can be used to transact across the nodes or participants. We have seen that. And also it's a decentralized database. We have seen different features of this. I've explained you the various attributes, the various features, okay, the characteristics, which is decentralized, persistency, anonymity, and auditability. Okay, so it has various applications in the field of banking, capital markets, cybersecurity, health, agriculture, telecom, etc., etc. So it has various uses. Next, we have seen about the National Commission for Indian System of Medical Medicines Act. Okay, this act seeks to replace the earlier Indian Medical Council Act of 1970. Now, this is mainly to ensure the availability of high quality medical professionals, medical research, and the medical institutions. So, this is mainly to replace the Medical Council of India, and a new commission, the National Commission for Indian System of Medicines, will be established. It is mainly to frame policies for the regulation of medical professionals and institutions. Okay, so because of this, we want to create a unified medical structure in the country so that it will serve our needs, it will serve our purpose. Next, after this, we have seen about Homeopathy Central Act, which seeks to replace the earlier Homeopathy Central Council Act of 1973. Okay, this is mainly constituted this is mainly with regard to the constitution of National Commission for Homeopathy and State Medical Council for Homeopathy. We have seen that it also talks about the entrance examinations like the NEET and others, and it also talks about the licenses for the practitioners. It also talks about the National Teachers Eligibility Test. A National Teachers Eligibility Test will be conducted in order to recruit the teachers. Okay. After that, we have seen about the Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda, ITRA Act of 2020. Okay, in this act, we want to merge the Ayurveda institutes. There are three different Ayurveda institutes into one institute, and they have named it as Institute of Teaching and Research in Ayurveda, and this will be an institution of national importance. We have seen that, and this will be located in Jamnagar, Gujarat. Okay, so anyone has any doubts, you can just let me know, or you can even contact us at this number. You can also drop a mail at this. We will get back to you if you have any doubts or if you have anything. I'll give you 10 seconds. Just let me know if you have any doubts. So another small important before leaving, I just want you to tell a small thing. You are in this journey of UPSC. It's not even it's not a small thing. It's a huge you can say it's a long journey, long and very tiring journey. And in this long and tiring journey, one important thing for you to crack the exam is that staying consistent. Consistency is the key. Consistency is the key to achieve success in this examination. Be consistent with regard to the classes. Be consistent with regard to the preparation. Be consistent with regard to the coverage of topics. Be consistent with regard to everything. So this consistency is very much important. I'll tell you a few tips to stay consistent. Few tips with regard to how to stay consistent. I'll cover I'll use, if you need Hindi, I can use Hindi also in between. So it will be both in Hindi and English. I can do that. Today it went completely in English. Like we can arrange like if everyone is comfortable in Hindi, तो Hindi और English दोनों में हो सकता है class. That is not an issue. दोनों हिंदी और okay. If anyone is not understanding English, किसी को समझ में नहीं आ रहे, तो they can ask me. I'll explain to them in Hindi. Okay. So, few tips with regard to staying consistent. First one, have proper schedules. You should have proper schedule with regarding to your preparation, what you are going to cover when. So having this schedule is very much important. It will let you track your preparation. It will help you to understand where you are earlier and where you are now. This is very much important. Okay. Second one, after having the schedule, you should weed out all the distractions. Weed distractions. So this is the age of internet. This is the age of internet, where internet can be used for your benefit as well as for other things also. The important thing is you should weed out the distractions which are are there, the social media and other things. They're not they will not give you, they will not fetch you anything. So you have to weed them out, especially till the time you clear the examination, till the time you are in the preparation phase. You should weed out all these distractions, because unknowingly they will waste your time. Unknowingly they'll waste your time. So you should try to weed out these distractions. Third one is just track your progress consistently. Track your progress. Okay. So after you have this schedule, after you have framed your schedule, track your progress also, because that is very much important, because you have to know whether you are going on the right track or not. If you're facing anything, if you're not knowing whether you're on right track or not, you can track it by the tests. You can even come to us if you need any help. If you're not knowing whether you're going the right track or not, you can talk to us directly. We'll help you that. So tracking the progress is very much important, because UPSC is such that the syllabus and everything is very vast. You can easily be you can be lost in the huge syllabus and all very easily. So tracking the progress and tracking whether you're going in the right direction or not is another important thing. So these are the important things that you have that are there, to stay consistent. And another important thing is, as I told, you have to use online resources very judiciously, because this is the age of information, and information is available very vastly in internet. Just don't go behind everything, behind all the materials that are there. Just stick to a source and just revise it thoroughly, revise it consistently. That is important thing. So stick to the sources. Sticking to the sources is very much important. Okay. So these are the important things we have for you to stay consistent. Okay. So another last important thing is attend the classes. Attend the classes continuously, because when you attend the class, you will be sitting 2.5 hours to 2.5 hours continuously. Because normally what will happen is that when you are listening to a recorded lecture, sometimes there might be any distraction and you might wake up, you might get up from there, or you might have some doubt which cannot be cleared then and there. But in the live class, you're just staying in front of me or any other faculty, and also your doubts can be cleared very easily. And also another important thing is that with the live class, it will help you to comprehend things much more efficiently. Your efficiency will increase with the classes, because here what we are doing is we are giving you the important things separately, like our preparation is directly exam specific. We are not giving you anything which is not important for the exam. We are giving you everything which is required only for the exam. So when things are going in exam specific manner, for you to crack exam, you have to be very you can say judicious, or you can say you have to be extremely disciplined in terms of attending the classes, right? So these are the important things. So my suggestion for you, just stay consistent with regard to the preparation, and you can crack the exam. This is very important. Okay. So if anyone has any doubts, you can just let me know, or you can even contact us at this number on WhatsApp, or you can drop a mail. We'll get back to you. Right? Even if you need any counseling, or if you need to talk to me regarding the schedule or anything, you can just directly contact us. Okay. So anyone has any doubts, just let me know. So tomorrow we will meet again. Okay, I'll share the PPT immediately after the class. So just revise it tomorrow before the class. We will have a small test. Okay. So if anyone has any doubt, just let me know, or else we will end the session here. Okay. So as everything is clear, thank you everyone. Thank you for attending the session. So tomorrow evening, I think it's around 7:30. Tomorrow we have the class at 7:30 in the evening. So where we will cover the remaining current affairs from September, and also we will have a small test with regard to the questions, with regard to the topics which we have discussed. We'll have a small test. Okay. So one more important thing, the testing is very important, because see, Until unless if you test yourself, you will not know whether you are on the right track or not. So for the tracking, the test will become very important. So that's the reason I'll tell you during the class also about how to approach the questions, and all these things will be discussed while discussing the questions, right? So if you have any doubts, you can just let me know, or else we'll end the class here. Okay. So I think it's clear for everyone. So we are ending the session here. I'll meet again tomorrow. Okay. Chalo. Thank you everyone. Take care. Bye bye. Jai Hind.